I'm trying to listen if my dad's like in the next room, which he is, and hopefully he heard me clapping so he knows that I'm filming. Hello everyone, it is me again, Mariev, and I am bringing you another video. This is another makeup video. It is going to be about makeup starter kits and products that I recommend being in your makeup starter kits. Getting started in makeup can be pretty overwhelming. There is just so much stuff out there now. There's bronzers, there's highlighters, there's this, there's that, there's cream blush, there's everything. There's a lot of stuff that you might not necessarily want to touch when you're starting out with makeup. So I've compiled my own list of items that I think would be pretty good to have in your makeup starter kit. Before we get into the meat of things, my criteria for selecting these items was really based on the items that I had in my own starter kit when I started getting into makeup. And also another note, I'm really just suggesting you the kinds of items that I think would be good in a starter kit, not necessarily the brands. So if I show you a Maybelline blush, I'm not saying to go out and buy that particular Maybelline blush. I'm just kind of saying a blush would be a good thing to have in your starter kit. I hope that makes sense. I of course will be trying to show you drugstore and high-end equivalences of the same item where I have. But either way, enough with the rambling and let's just get on with the showing, because that's the most interesting part, is the showing. We are first going to start off with face products. In your starter kit, I would highly recommend you having a concealer of some kind. I think it's just the best way to start up in makeup, not necessarily going for a BB cream or a foundation. When I was starting with makeup, I really only reached for concealers. That's all I was using was concealers, and then we'll get into it a little later, some face powder. A concealer is a good way to start. And I guess for my product recommendations, Rimmel London, the Wake Me Up concealer, I really like this one. And on the higher end version, I don't have it with me because it's in my bathroom and I'm not about to go and get it, but the Unique concealer. I don't even remember the full name, but the Unique concealer. So yes, I think a concealer in your starter kit is definitely a good way to start out. The next item in my starter kit was actually a facial powder, and I would use that with the concealer to help like cover up blemishes and just, you know, even out the skin tone a little more. So you could use a loose powder or a pressed powder. I kind of fluctuated between the two kinds when starting out. I could not settle on either. For the high-end recommendation, I really like the Unique Mineral Concealer and again the Unique Pressed Powder. I don't unfortunately have a drugstore equivalent to show you because I pretty much use these exclusively. If you're going the route of mineral powder, then you're going to need to find yourself a good facial brush to apply that with. For applying loose powder, you'll want those brushes to be big and fluffy. That way you can just buff it in and they'll be super soft. Here I have a Joe Fresh brush, and on the other end, the high end, this is the Unique Powder Puff brush. I really like both of them. Joe Fresh is really cheap and really amazing. They're synthetic, and most of the time they happen to be dual-ended. Next up will be blush, and I think for every girl, one of the first items that they acquire is blush, and there is a good reason behind that. Blush gives a good flush to the cheeks and just makes you look super pretty. So now for my recommendations. On the drugstore end, I've got the Maybelline Master Glaze by Face Studio blush stick. This is a cream blush. I love cream blushes because you don't need a blush brush or a brush to apply it with. You just need your fingers, and that just means one less thing for you to worry about getting in your starter kit. On the more high-end side of things, I've got the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. This is a more traditional blush in the fact that it is powder. When selecting shades of blush, I really highly recommend going with a neutral shade that you could wear every day and less of a bright, like punchy shade. This is kind of pushing it, but example. We are now going to be moving on to the eyes, and the next product I had in my starter kit was mascara. And again, that is pretty self-explanatory. It helps to open up the eyes and bring attention to the eyes, and just fans the eyelashes, makes them look long and beautiful and full. For product recommendations, I'm going to talk about my favorite, which is the Unique 3D Fiber Lashes Plus. My favorite. I love how this stuff goes on and it does not feel like I've got anything on. On the drugstore end, I'm really enjoying this Maybelline New York Great Lash Mascara. Still within the realm of eyes, the next item would be an eyeshadow of some sort. Of course, if you're starting out with makeup, you might not necessarily want to delve into the realm of eyeshadows because eyeshadows can get complicated. So if you want to keep this simple, then just forego the eyeshadow. But if you want eyeshadow, then just keep listening. With eyeshadows, you can opt to get yourself a palette. That way you have many colors to choose from, and that way you can create many looks with one single item. But if you're a more simpler person, then you can get yourself a single eyeshadow, or you can get yourself a double tray so it has 2 shadows in it, or you could get yourself a quad or a shadow that has like just 3 in it. There's lots of options. So really the only thing I'm recommending in this section, the eyeshadow section, is to find yourself an eyeshadow that you can see yourself wearing every single day. This was actually my first eyeshadow, and it's just a taupe color, very neutral. My first palette happened to be this Personnel palette right here. It's just got a wider shade range. It's got some light ones so that you can have a neutral look for an everyday sort of look, or there's darker shades on this end that will help to give you a more glamified nighttime look. I very much like this one as well. So these are actually my 2 recommendations. I both got them in drugstores, but the take home note is just an eyeshadow or a palette that you can do quite a bit with, or that you can see yourself wearing very often. The last product I had in my very own starter kit was some sort of lip product, and I pretty much gravitated towards lip glosses or lip balms. And these are good products to start out with because lip gloss and lip balms are easy to apply. There's not a high quantity of pigmentation in them sometimes, and it's just very screw up proof, really. So my product recommendations on the drugstore side is the NYX Butter Gloss. These are great, they're hydrating, I quite like them. And really when you're starting out with makeup, I think you should gravitate towards products that are more hydrating for your lips than, you know, liquid sucking. It's got some good color payoff, but it's still not crazy intense. And on the high-end side of things, I've got the Unique Tinted Lip Balms. These are the Lip Bonbons. They give a good wash of color. They're very hydrating, very much like them. If you can't afford these, then I've heard very good things of the Maybelline Oh Sugar Lip Balms. I think that's what they're called. But either way, some sort of hydrating lip product is really what I'm going for here now. And those are all the sorts of items that I had in my very own makeup starter kit. If you're starting out in makeup, hopefully this video helps you decide what you should include in your own starter kit. Let me know in the comments down below what were some of the items that you had in your makeup starter kit. I would love to know. I just find these things very interesting. And as always, if you like this video, like it, and if you haven't yet, then subscribe to my channel to be notified when I upload a new video. Until next time guys, my name is Mary Ev, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!